Hi, my name's Bryce. Welcome back to VHS Play, where we are playing Metroid Prime and recording it all on VHS. I am already grinning like an idiot. This game's so good. I do love this game a lot. Okay, that's fine. That happens far too often. Man. Okay, again, like, I have to stress how much of a graphical leap there was between the N64 and the GameCube, because like suddenly we have all of this, just like the rain effects, there's these water effects, there's all the reflection on all this, like, I mean, it's not technically reflection, but like this light shifting on all the metallic surfaces like Samus's ship and Samus. And oh man, there's like the little fire particles and just like everything, like there's just a ton going on here. And like I think they knew they needed to make this it just absolutely impressive. Like this opening scene is just going to sell you on so much of the world. So it's like you're here on the planet and everything is just like, ooh, what's this? Ooh, what's this? Ooh, what's this? And oops, I fell into some water, but look at the water effects on the visor and look at the rain effects on the visor, and just like, oh, I got close here, and like all the shot stuff. If you keep shooting, like the, you can see, there it is. You can see like the lingering heat off of the cannon. And there's just so much going on. Alright. And then of course you have your scan visor that just, like, this is again all flavor text. Nobody has to read this, but like, it's so much of the game of just like coming in and exploring, and it's like this kind of archaeological dig into this sci-fi world, and it's phenomenal. I love it. Anyway, species: talon fern, non-toxic variety of Silotalonesis. Sure, commonly found near water sources. This lichen, is it lichen or lichen? I think it's lichen. I have never actually thought to look up the pronunciation of that, as one of those words that you read and you never hear somebody say. This lichen seems to be giving off low levels of radiation. No matches found in flora or fauna databank. Species: glowing spider vine. Bioluminescence attracts insects to be consumed by spider vine. New creatures entry has been downloaded to your logbook. Tangleweed, plant life with basic sentience. Retracts in ground if threatened. Tangleweeds are only dangerous to small organisms. They are covered in tiny barbs designed to trap potential meals. Tangleweeds lack the strength to do anything more than hinder larger life forms. Missile expansion increases the number of missiles you can carry. Man, the music is again so good. New research entry has been downloaded. Hunter class gunship registered to Samus Aran. You can return to your ship to recharge your energy, reload weapons, and save progress in the game. Species: red starburst edible flowers bloom seasonally, considered a delicacy in many territories. There's a small tunnel burrowed into this wall. All right, I am having a good time. Again, like, this game is like completely different playing it to like explore and scan things versus just playing it to like get through. Because like I have spent, dude, let me look at my recording clock, like 5 minutes just wandering around the single room scanning things when I could have just been running along on my way to do things. Oh right, the GameCube also added like rumble into the controller. Like there was the rumble pack on the N64, but like GameCube was the first time for Nintendo that it was like actually in the controller by default. Anyway, creatures. Morphology, beetle. Just beetle. Burrowing insect with a resilient carapace, extremely aggressive. Insect's massive mouth enables it to tunnel through solid rock at high speeds. Above ground, beetles can cover short distances rapidly. They attack anything that moves near their lair. Species: Saturnine. Sure, we'll stick with that. Small iridescent mushrooms, typically grows in dank, dark regions. Guide stem, pervasive indigenous species of bioluminescent weed. There. This is one of those fun games for somebody who already kind of, doesn't have the greatest of enunciation. Creatures. Species: Sapsack. Chemical reaction within the sac produces violent explosions when agitated. Because of its irresistible odor and sweet nectar, the sap sac was nearly eaten out of existence. The evolution of an explosive chemical sac saved it. Now only brave or ingenious creatures dare to devour it. Creatures is a blast cap. Volatile chemicals within this weed's toxic fungal cap may explode if agitated. The poisonous flesh of the blast cap helps keep it from being eaten. It also detonates its fungal cap when it senses even slight contact. Zoomer anchors itself to walls and other surfaces, avoid contact with spikes. A basic nerve center located directly above the zoomer's mandibles detects nutrients. Sharp spines protect it from casual predators. But the lack of the reinforced carapace makes the zoomer vulnerable to any indirect attacks. Oh boy, howdy! This is have not had coffee yet, so already struggle with enunciation to begin with. Reading all this pseudoscience. We're in for a fun time. It's a Gemer. Wall-crawling mollusk with retractable spines. The Gemer is an evolutionary offshoot of the zoomer family. When threatened, it extends lethal spikes and retracts its head deep into its armored carapace. The stone surface this lichen grows on appears too smooth to be natural. Tree appears to be healthy. Ring dating approximates age at over 200 years. Access to Chozo Ruins West granted. Please step into hologram. I'm probably not going to scan all of the holograms for all of the elevators because that's all they ever say is, hey, this pathway is active. Anyway, it's just taking me 10 minutes to go 3 rooms. I guess that was 4 or 5. Technically 5, according to map, but essentially 3. Alright, that's where we open. I don't need to scan that. It's fine. Oh, geez, okay. Abnormal seismic activity. Seismic disturbance at ruins site. Okay, so apparently we're already dealing with the hint system. So this is something that Metroid Prime did, basically to give you the, hey, where should you go? And it doesn't do... How much does it actually tell you? Like, I think it tells you, like, just kind of enough. I'm trying to feel out how I feel about the system. It feels unobtrusive. Is that right? Like, I mean, it did just pop up with, like, a little message that I have to hit Z in order to dismiss. But, like, it does it in, like, this really in-world way of just, like, oh, like, either Samus's suit or, like, her ship, and is therefore, you know, communicating with her suit, is, like, doing just, like, random readings of stuff, and is getting this weird reading of, like, hey, there's something going on here. And this just gives you a blanket, here's what your objective is. You need to go to this room. It doesn't tell you what's in that room. It doesn't tell you, like, what sort of anything you're going to get there, maybe. I don't remember if, like, the other hints are more exact. And it's let me play around in this game and, like, completely do nothing for, like, 10 minutes in the overworld before showing me you should go here. And I don't know when these hints actually kick off. Like, it might be... I don't remember if it's a timer sort of deal, or if it's just like a, hey, you're getting close to the thing, so we're going to tell you that you're on the right track. These pillars have collapsed from erosion. Carbon dating cannot determine the age of the structures. New Chozo lore entry. Chozo script translated. At the highest point of our city lies the fountain, a wellspring of pure water that flows throughout our civilization. It is the jewel of the Chozo, the life-giver, and yet its waters speak of a clouded future. As we come to understand the paths of time and space more clearly, we have begun to glimpse rough tatters of past and future, glittering behind reality like soft lights behind a curtain. We have seen the fountain in these glimpses, pouring darkness instead of water, and we cannot guess what these visions mean. So, fun in that cutscene, and for a long time, there's a missile expansion up there, and we're not going to be able to get it until the end of the game. Speaking of things that you can't get until much later, this tree seems to be weakened due to cellular decomposition. Dude. Research. Blast shield on the door blocking access. Analysis indicates the blast shield is invulnerable to beam weapons. Explosive weapons may damage it. More fun. This object rests at the top of a very smooth inclined slope. This grapple point is too far away to use. Passageway to shrine. The ledge this object rests on cannot be reached from this room. These leaves appear to be unnaturally dried and withered. These stones appear to have fallen from the walkway above. I forgot there was different music the first time you come here. It's much more quiet, this weird atmosphere. Like, I do love the music. Again, I love the music in this game because it does this weird mixture of music and like atmosphere at the same time. Like, all of this like kind of creature noises and like the weird chirps is like the definitely music bit, but then you've got like the low, like almost choral hum. And like that could just simply be, you know, it's one of those noises that's just like, is that real? Is that just like how the air flows in here? Or is it something more? Y'all, I really like this game. New creatures. War Wasp Hive. Primary War Wasp drilling, only vulnerable to heavy weaponry. War Wasps build their homes over existing crevices using whatever materials are close at hand. They carry building fragments back to the construction site with their forelegs and give them into place. Glue. Okay, that is an L and a U. All right, and glue them into place with adhesives secreted from their abdomens. Okay, so real quick, we're going to talk tutorial stuff because, like, Metroid Prime does it does that thing where it railroads you at the start, and it's fairly slick. So we had one door there on the left, and we couldn't go into it because it's got a blast shield over it. We need explosive weapons. We don't have missiles. This door down here is open. And if we get curious and go up here, where there's another door, I guess the war wasps don't want to come out to play. It's like, oh hey, we can go up this way. But very quickly, we run into bugs. Scarab, exploding parasites that can embed their bodies in solid rock. Scarabs think nothing of sacrificing themselves for the safety of their swarm. When a hostile life form is sighted, they block its progress by embedding themselves in floors and walls. Embedded scarabs violently self-destruct when threatened. But like, very quickly we come to this point where we cannot go under this. These branches block most of the tunnel, but there is a small opening near the floor. And, like, we're at the point where the scan visor is telling us, like, all sorts of, like, very simple details. Also, I do love, like, the sun just peeking over that wall just enough. It's a nice touch. The etching resembles a bird-like creature. So, like, we're presented with the almost choice. Like, we have a door we can open but we can't get into. We have a door that requires a weapon we don't have yet. So, like, there's this almost choice. Like, back on the overworld, there were, like, 2 other doors that I didn't bother going towards because I'm trying to make some amount of progress today. But they also have, like, these similar limitations. That is, like, the one that I kind of looked at and then walked away from in that first room. That right beyond it, there's another blast shield door that you can't open. And, like, I think to get over there, you need both missiles and morph ball. Because there's a low passage and then also a blast door. Anyway, ion. Immobile organisms entirely composed of ocular tissue. Capable of launching sustained energy beams when active, the ion is sensitive to light and will close shut if a bright flash ignites nearby. Save station detected. Next room over. Unusually high concentrations of poison identified in tree leaves. Elevated toxicity levels found in tree bark. Let's read the next page. Scans indicate a poisoned water source within 4 meters of tree base. This object resides at the end of a high channel set into the wall. Structural weakness detected in sandstone block. Structural integrity of metal is stable, no flaws detected. An ornate wall hanging with a highly reflective surface. It does not appear important. New Chozo lore. Chozo script translated. We Chozo are departing now, after so many years in peaceful seclusion here on Talon 4. When we came, this place was a refuge for our spirits, a civilization built from native materials bereft of the trappings of our technology. We were linked to the land here, kindred to the plants and animals far away from the machines we had become so dependent on. And so we leave it now, pristine, a testament to the mortal forms we no longer need. We have drawn the veils of time and space aside, and are withdrawing beyond the illusion. But we will never forget this, the most sacred of our homes, and we will remain ever watchful. So that hint about the... Oh, hey, there you go. We have some reflection. It's extremely minor and only covers Samus, but that's fine. A new creature's entry has been downloaded to your logbook. Morphology Warwasp, airborne insect equipped with a venomous stinger capable of shearing steel. The Warwasp rarely strays far from its hive unless it is pursuing an immediate threat. It attacks with no regard for its own survival, dive-bombing its enemy with stinger extended. Fast-working toxins from the stinger can incapacitate, there we go, most small organisms. Jeez, okay, let's incapacitate most small organisms. Say that 5 times fast. So, this is super not reflection. I'm fairly 100% certain. Like that does seem to be just like some trick to pretend to be. Yeah, it's just like a transparency and scaling sort of deal. But still, it's neat. And again, like, this is the sort of thing you didn't get on the 64. And, oh, it's... Again, like, this just completely blew your mind as a kid, coming from the 64 to suddenly this new fanciful world of, man, look at these graphics. Aren't they neat? Chozo sculptures crafted in honor of Talon's star. The only translatable symbol detected on the sculpture is the word Chozo. This petrified organic matter looks like a rock carved into the shape of an eye. The only translatable symbol is Chozo. There's like the buzz of bees, and then you've got all these little green insects all around. And also just like the little light tricks here with the visor. My guess on how they're handling this is just these little like god rays of light peering in. They probably have like some amount of just a quick collision box on them. Would they do that? Like, would they actually give like this a 3D like, you know, just a box collider or something, and just like as you walk in, there's that shift to I am now lit to when you escape, there's like that white flash. It's all these little tiny details. Like, all of these details just make this world just so much more than it seems, I guess. Analysis indicates significant amounts of water once present in this location. We got blast caps, we've got stress points present stress points present in brimstone wall. A concussive blast may shatter it. This small tunnel leads back behind the wall. Width of the opening is approximately 1 meter in diameter. Bright bug. Nope, plasmite. Small insect capable of storing and releasing thermal energy. Plasmites are attracted to sources of heat, thriving on the energy present there. They emit light when hunting and will expel small bursts of thermal energy when threatened. Kind of surprised there's not a scan for the poison water. Drainage possesses traces of high-level toxins. This elevated bridge looks worn but functional. This seems fine. Certainly not a boss arena. The mechanical device appears to be inactive. Life forms detected within hollows of machine. It appears this item can only be reached by using the elevated bridge. Something tells me there are probably 26 slices of this circle. No, I'm making things up. These are just repeating 2 characters over and over and over. Alright. New creatures entry. Mechanoid Hive Mecha. Security unit programmed to work with predatory hive dwellers. A design flaw makes the shielding on Hive Mecha weak around their access ports. These units are second-generation combat drones able to interact with organic units at a higher level. They train, shelter, and work with hive-dwelling predators unharmed. Let's try that again. Unarmed. They rely on their hive beast to handle any threats. Ram War Wasp. Airborne predator circles its prey and then strikes. The War Wasp are the only species on Talon 4 to evolve a true hive mind. Nesting in damp, dark places, ram war wasps emerge in small groups when threatened and circle their enemy at high speed, disorienting it, striking from all sides as a single intelligence. They can fell striking at all sides from as a single intelligence. They can fell huge organisms. So, I think my first time through the game, I did actually die in this fight because I fell off the platform, and being stuck in that poison water devours your health, and it's real bad. But I take no shame in that. Like, it's a dangerous thing. Like, it's meant to be... In terms of boss fights, like, I really like this boss as an entry-level boss because it feels way more dangerous than it actually is, but at the same time, it is really dangerous because, like, if you fall off this platform into the poison water, you're screwed. You are probably not going to, like, you basically, because it's water and this is a Metroid game, you move extremely slow in water. So, like, falling off, if, say, you fell off the back, then you would need to very carefully and slowly, and also it's hard to see underwater and everything's green, you would need to get around to the front here. Like, I've made this jump before from, like, here. Your jumping is also significantly limited in water, so you would need to, like, get all the way to the front, hop up these steps, and get back up here, and that would devour so much health. So it's like, it is legitimately dangerous if you fall off the platform. The wasps themselves, not too much of a threat. Missile launcher. Press Y to fire. Press A to switch back to beams. Missiles can destroy some blast shields. Additional data. By the way, we have a bunch of additional data. And it includes, again, like some of the pseudoscience stuff that we've seen before. Let's go back to that. Power beam is a default arm cannon. Press up on the C stick to select it. The power beam can be used to open blue doors. If you see your shots ricochet, cease fire. The power beam is not working against that target. You can use the power beam to quickly clear an area of weak foes. The power suit is an advanced Chozo exoskeleton modified for use by Samus Aran. The power suit provides life support functions. There we go. We have life support mentioned right off the bat. And is well shielded from attack. The modular nature of the power suit allows for the addition of weapons, visors, and other gear as needed. Power suits shielding loses energy with each hit. Collect energy when possible to keep the shielding charged. Combat visor is your default visor. It provides you with a heads-up display containing radar minimap, lock-on reticules, threat assessment, energy gauge, and missile count. Press up to select it. Samus's notes. Icons for the arm cannons you possess are shown in the lower right of the combat visor. Icons for the visors you possess are in the lower left. Scan visor, there's a bunch of controls. Scan things. Mission critical scan targets will be red in color. Scanning enemies with with this visor can reveal their vulnerabilities. You'll be unable to fire any weapons while in the scan visor. Scan data vital to the success of the mission is downloaded and stored in the logbook section of the pause screen. Press R on this screen to get there. Missile launcher. It adds ballistic weapon capability. Like it's throwing. So here's what I actually came into this menu to talk about. Is like it's throwing the keywords at us. Ballistic weapon. Like we've already encountered a few things that are just like, oh, an explosive, like, you know, a ballistic blast or something like that. Missiles fired with a lock-on will seek their targets. Missiles can destroy objects made from radion or brimstone. We've already seen something made of brimstone, and that is one of those things that I really love about the unlock system in this game is like, as you're scanning stuff, it will tell you like material stuff. And it's like a lot of the time there's kind of like the two hints of just like, oh, a concussive blast will destroy this brimstone something. So you have like the, oh yeah, use missiles on it because those are like actual explosions. And then you also have like the material wise, like here's the keyword that syncs up, and it's not an immediate use missiles. It's like, it tells you the concept and maybe a keyword if it's like a really important, like, no, we want you to actually know that you can destroy this with a specific weapon, but it doesn't tell you the specific weapon. It tells you the material, and the weapon information tells you what materials it can generally destroy. And that, I really like that. I really, really like that in terms of just like, it makes you feel clever. Like it is a one-step removed puzzle of just like, how do I destroy this? Well, it's made from this, and I know what this can destroy that. I'm so smart. It's one of those like really low effort, just makes you feel goods. Anyway, there are charge combo enhancements scattered throughout the environment. They use the missile launcher and the charge beam in tandem to fire more effective blasts. Each missile expansion you find will increase the number of missiles you can carry by 5. And then we have all of our logbook stuff. This is all just like everything that we've scanned that's like said, hey, we've added to your logbook. That's this. And what's fun is they put immediately in front of you one of these blast doors. And inside that blast door, you get your energy tank, which is very important because, like, honestly, the early game is very dangerous. You do not have a whole lot of health. They also put some boxes back here to refill your ammo and maybe some health if you need it, which I apparently don't. They leave this small tunnel leads back behind the wall. Width of the opening is approximately 1 meter in diameter. Like we keep seeing these little call outs of just like, there's a small space about 1 meter in diameter, which, you know, that will become more important later on. I forgot they actually locked you in this room. So when you jump down, you can't actually get back up until after. Like, in terms of tutorial, I really like this. I am going to be ranting about how much I love this game pretty much the entire time. So buckle in. But yeah, like after we drop down, you can't actually get back to that ledge until after you go into that room and get your... I'm curious if you can leave that room without taking the energy stuff. Can you just like turn around and come back? Either way, they lock you in this room for the boss fight. They point you directly in front of a door that you need a missile to open, and then you get the immediate reward of an energy tank for, you know, following along in their unspoken tutorial. New research entry. Large energy replenishes 20 energy units. we then get like this slow-ish, like we're now at the point where we're backtracking, but now that we're backtracking with this weapon, is like we immediately get more rewards if we've been paying attention. Of just like, okay, you turn around, you shoot this wall that said, hey, you need a concussive blast. Maybe it mentioned brimstone. And there's also a map station. So it's like you have these pretty nice rewards for turning around and coming this way. Like, yes, it's backtracking. But also, these are the same things, right? Yeah. It's like it may be straight up backtracking, but you have a new weapon so you can try new things along the way. So I keep almost talking about it and then not. There's the scan percentage stuff, and I mentioned it, that there's, like, I think I either mentioned it or started to mention it. There is a whole deal about scanning stuff in this game. Like, I don't remember if there are, like, in previous Metroids, you were rewarded for, like, quick completion of the game. I don't remember if there is that. I think instead the game focuses on scan completion as your primary gauge of, like, bonus stuff of just like, hey, how much did you scan in the game? I forgot that blast shields will, like, reflect shots. Luckily, you cannot shoot yourself doing that. Anyway, so scan completion as, like, this tracking of, like, how well you're doing. Like, there's kind of the two parts to it. There's scan completion and then there's item completion. So ultimately, item completion is, the going and finding all of the things. But then there's the scan completion, which is like scanning all of the things what can get put. That's not jump. Scanning all of the things that can get put into your logbook, of which there's kind of a whole lot. There's a category that we haven't even found yet. But there's like 13 choices of lore. There's tons and tons and tons of creatures. That noise is kind of annoying, so I'll not do that. There's a bunch of research entries. Like, there's a ton to scan in this game, and, like, I keep mentioning, this kind of flavor text aspect of scanning, where it is both, like, it's a hint system. Stonework and sample region has been refined to a atypical smoothness. So you have things like that's hinting, it's really smooth. Maybe you should examine this area a little bit more closely and realize this is a half pipe. It can be used to give you, like, these very specific multiple microscopic fractures throughout this sandstone wall section. Again, it's giving you that material as the keyword instead of saying, hey, use morph ball bombs. These blue orbs seem to be simple light sources. But like all the logbook stuff, there's a bunch of like rewards. Morph ball. Magnetic rail system track detected. It appears to be active. Spider ball technology required to access track. Alright, I was just saying how you don't tell me exactly what item to use, but sometimes it does. Anyway, so scan completion is like a whole deal in this game. And boy howdy, it took me a long time and a lot of playthroughs to get 100% scan completion, because there's a bunch of enemies that you can miss. Like in that first boss fight, there was the boss itself, and then there were the slightly different war wasps. And those war wasps never show up again. The ram war wasp, nope, we've seen the last of them. Plated beetle, well-armored burrowing insect, vulnerable only in the rear abdomen. Creature's thick cranial plating can repel frontal attacks. This gives it an advantage in combat, allowing it to make ramming attacks, only surfacing when it detects vibrations above. It then maneuvers itself so as to always face its rival, keeping its exposed abdomen protected. So, yeah, there's a whole lot of creatures that you see just like one time and you never see them again. And yep. Doing that wrong didn't feel great, but like also this was in the time of like completely rinsing games as a kid. So it's like I played this game over and over and over just because like I wanted to see like, oh, is there anything secret for like if I beat the game super fast, if I do this, are there more things? Like I just wanted to explore more of this game, and also I wanted my dang 100% scan rate. Trying to think of where the next save point is. But like things like the Ram War Wasp, that is just like an add-on in a boss fight. That's the only time you see that wasp. There's another wasp type that will need to scan in a different boss fight because it's only in that boss fight. There's the Ice Shriek Bats that I pointed out last time they're a real doozy because they're in one room. If you are you only ever need to go through that room once along like the once in that direction at that time along that critical path. So it's like if you go in, they're just there once, and they're one of those creatures that does like a charge attack and then it dies. So it's like if you don't scan them, then right there and then when they are no structural weaknesses, yeah, if you don't scan them right there and then as they are charge attacking you, then odds are you're going to miss that scan for that entire playthrough, because after you do like the next key item or boss trigger or something, then they're just gone. They are gone forever, and you can never scan them, and you just have to start a new file and try again. So yeah, it's like I love the scanning stuff in this game, but also like, heck, my dudes, if you miss a scan, it can just, it can suck real hard. New Jozo lore. Jozo script translated: as we struggle with the great poison, something stirs at the edges of our vision. It is the hatchling Samus. We feel her across the void as she hunts the corrupted. Will our fates again be one? As our pride shatters, will prophecy become real? When all strength wanes from the Chozo, will it be the hatchling who fulfills our legacy? True sight eludes us, for the poison gnaws at all vision, leaving seers blind and filled with despair. Truth's blessing may come too late. Hey, there it is. Toxicity. Toxicity levels critical. Contact with the contaminated water extremely hazardous. Heck. Heck. Hey, you know how I was talking about bats? Shriek bats. They kind of suck. Reaper Vine? Yeah. Powerful rock-dwelling tentacle. A single eye upon the Reaper Vine keeps a constant vigil, but its vision is limited to 10 meters. A scythe-like appendage on its tip is honed to lethal sharpness. The Reaper Vine will swing the blade wildly at anything that enters its zone of perception. Yep. Analysis suggests the presence of a runic symbol here. And I was trying to scan the grass, but that's fine. Yes, it is right there. Gosh dang it. So, something I do find interesting is just like how much of Metroid is just like world hazards and not like enemy hazards. So like this early game is really much more about like, hey, don't step in the bad stuff. There are enemies that are kind of dangerous, like Reaper Vines can hit an amount? How hard do they hit? I don't remember. But like the more dangerous thing is that they can knock you into the poison. Alright. I know there's some Shriek Bats up there. There we go. Shriek Bat, territorial ceiling dweller, body temperature peaks at 121 centigrade. Shriek Bats have a high internal temperature, making them easy to spot. With thermal imaging, they roast on cave ceilings while hunting for small prey. Fiercely territorial, they dive bomb anything that wanders near, and then explode. The path of corruption leads ever higher. All right. Let's get that save. Call it a day. Any last thoughts that I need to get out of my system now? I like this game a lot. Also, Shriek Bats. They shriek, and they're bats. Yeah, I think that'll do. So, thank you very much for watching. I've been Bryce. This has been VHS Play. Have yourself a lovely evening.